Be hitting on it. Yay, look at us. Okay, I'll have to figure out how to download it later. So tonight I want to talk about team building. And so all of this that I'm going to reference is kind of just how I do things. And so if you're one of Gabby's teammates, you may just want to like check with her. But we've been kind of going over our new closing sheet. And so I always want to tell you guys to offer everyone the opportunity. Even if you feel like in 8,000 million years, she would never say yes. Okay. Because you never know why somebody might say yes to this opportunity. Okay. So, I've also heard it said where it's like, it's selfish to not offer it to people. I've had an OBGYN join my team for a tax write off. I've had a friend join my team because she lost her husband and she needed something to fill the space. Like, so it's not always like the same reason you're going to join. Some people might just like the product. So, like, you just never know. So, I also want to tell you guys one of my oldest, most consistent consultants, when I originally offered her the opportunity, she told me her husband would kill her if she ever did Mary Kay again because she had done it before and she was not successful. And so, when she called and told me that she was signing up, I was like, but I thought your husband was going to kill you. But anyway, she's been around ever since. I think the lease has been around 8 or 9 years now. I don't know. So you offer it anyway. And I always tell people this is part of my job. I have to do this. And I get credit for you guys listening. Okay. So you're taking the like pressure off of them. And I want you to imagine if you work at Academy, every person who goes up to the register, they say, hey, would you like to apply for Academy card? Right? Right? Don't they ask you if you want to apply for their credit card? That's part of their job, y'all. They get a something. They get like recognition or something for the most who gets, people to pay attention or whatever. Okay. And so I want you guys to think about Mary Kay like that. So I did a 62 person party the other day, and it was all college girls. And so if I'm going to do college girls, I'm going to talk one way about the opportunity. And if I'm in front of a bunch of moms, I'm going to talk about a different version of the opportunity. Okay. So I want you to know that like whoever you're in front of, you can absolutely cater it to them. So like if you like at the sorority event this weekend, I did not talk about how it's the best mom job in the whole wide world because there are a bunch of 21-year-olds who are not moms or younger, right? So whoever you're talking to, absolutely customize it for them. But if you know that like you're talking to like a bunch of moms, talk about how it's a great mom job. And if you're not a mom, you talk about how your, director is or your best friend or this person, XYZ. If you notice everyone's a little bit older, their kids are probably all grown, you know, you can talk about how this feels like time that you used to be so busy in, like you can customize it to whoever it is when you're talking to them. Okay. So in like our form, it like, it's just very simple. You read it to them and then you always want to ask like either we have an ABC on ours. A is absolutely, B is buy me a coffee. C is like, I just want to be a customer. You could also say on a scale of 1 to 5, what's your interest level? 1 is I'd rather go outside and get hit by a car, and 5 is sign me up. Okay. And I always, always, always say, you'd rather go get hit by a car because I want it to be so dramatic because they're always like, well, I mean, I don't want to get hit by a car, but like, I don't want to sign up. I'm like, okay, that's okay. Like, I was just kidding. That way you're making it like playful because I feel like for years, like they pressured people into signing up. Like they made it like to make a decision, like, and we don't want it to be that. We want them to come because if you force someone to come and sign up, y'all, they're not going to be successful at this, right? They're going to quit. They're going to not show up. They're going to, XYZ. But if you make it about them and how it could help them, that's when they really buy into it. Okay. And if they ever say 3 in the middle, you always ask them closer to 2 or closer to 4. And then that tells you like closer to 2 is less interested, closer to 4, because people pick that chicken answer right in the middle. And I always tell them, be honest. Like, I don't get extra credit if you, circle A and you don't mean it, or, circle 5 and you don't mean it. Like, just be honest. I get credit just for you guys listening today. And I mean, credit is, do you really get credit? I mean, like, yes, because you saw a face, but like, they don't know any different. So you just say that, okay? On the back side of our roll up bag flyer, we do have the starter kit, okay? So you do want to tell them it's only $35 to get started. Whether they want to make money or they want to save money, it's the same $35, okay? And then in the 2 weeks after that, they have the opportunity to add the $90 kit, okay? And we always do want to let them know this is the best deal, especially if they use the products, because I always would tell them, if you bought these four, one, two, three, four from me, it's, what is it, 116 now? Used to be like 110. So I used to always be like, it's 110. So it's 116. Or for $90, you can get all of it. Okay, so it is a great deal. And then you can use, and the only thing they can't use and demo is the mascara. Everything else can be double dipped. And look, when I started, y'all, I had twins, we were broke. And I knew that like I couldn't afford my own set of products at the time. So I just had to remember to grab it off my shelf. So it's okay, like, because like I said, the only thing you can't double dip is the mascara. Everything else is pumped out, so it can't be contaminated. So you're welcome, to explain that. Okay. So let's go over A, B, and C. Essentially, if they circle A or they say 5, they want to sign up. The goal is to get them to sign up. Okay. You guys want to have you go to your website, you go into Sell Mary Kay, you copy that link and you save it in the notes section of your phone. Okay. And so if they want to sign up, you send that to them right then and there. And if they are interested, I would say, and you get a free gift if you sign up tonight. Yo, it could be a lip gloss. It could be an eyeshadow. You didn't say what the free gift was. So it doesn't have to be expensive, but it helps them to make a decision because you have your 4 personality types. Your D personalities are making a decision and they're signing up right then and there. They don't care what their husband says. They don't care about detail. Like they know enough and they're like, yeah, we got to figure it out as we go. I's are going to say, oh, I get a free gift if I sign up tonight. All I have to do is make a decision. I get a gift. Okay, sign me up. Your S and your C's are going to research. They got to go home. They got to think about it. They got to talk to 85 people to get their opinion first. They got to research. They got to read all the fine print. They're literally going to go home and like Google this and all the things. So you have your 4 different personality types. So not everybody is going to make a decision on the spot. Okay. Some of them might say, oh, well, I do need to run home and talk to my husband. So then you would say, well, what's your husband going to say? Oh, he'll probably say, yeah. So, okay, well, then let's just sign up because you get the free gift. And if he doesn't want you to do anything, you just don't order and you'll be fine. And that way they make that decision right then and there. Okay. The B people is the buy me a coffee. That is where you intercept your director. Okay. That's where I'm going to spend a good chunk of time today. Now, I'm speaking how I do it. And so if you are one of Gabby's people and you're listening in tonight, you may want to double check some of this with her. But I have a work number and a personal number. My work number cannot group message. So like I always like to and part 2 of that is if someone has an Android and I have an iPhone, we cannot voice text each other. I don't think. You used to not be able to. Okay. So I tell my girls, go start a Facebook message group. Me, you, and the customer. Okay. And I'm going to tell Candace, okay, Candace, so start a group message with the 3 of us, introduce her to me, and then like I'll kind of just take over. So excuse me. So Candace would come in and be like, hey, Jennifer, this is my friend Jane. I just met her. She's kind of interested in the opportunity. So I have these coupons that I give out once they finish. Okay. So if the first thing that they've seen is what you just did in front of them, okay, that we do what we call layering. The more you show them, the more that they see. So our Wednesday night events with Summer is a layering. Them hosting a party counts as layering. Them doing a second appointment if it's glam or whatever, they can watch. I have a marketing video that they can watch. So all of those things are what we call layering, because the more that they see, the more of the puzzle like they get to put together. Does that make sense? Okay, so what I would say is, what I always want them to do is I want them to ask me questions. Okay, so when I get to that group message, I'm gonna say, okay, what questions do you have, Jane? And I'm gonna let her ask a question. Okay. I want Candace to see if she feels confident enough, who's a consultant, to answer the question. So Jane might say, well, how much is it to get started? Okay. So then I'm going to ask Candace on the side, hey girl, you know, send me your answer and then I'll like critique it and then she can go send it. Does that make sense? So I'm kind of like training her on the side. Okay. Or if she was confident enough, she can answer. And if there's anything I need to like fix, elaborate on, I'll go say, "Yep, you're pretty close." But you forgot to mention that if they add the $90 kit, they have 2 weeks. Maybe she didn't say something. You fix it or whatever. Um, but they get the coupons regardless. Okay, so even if they say C, you could ask them to watch and get the coupons. Okay, it is super important that every single person be offered to get on an event, listen. It helps you because, and one thing I always tell people, y'all, is this business might not be for you, but it might be for someone you know. And I tell them that because my dad wasn't interested in signing up to do Mary Kay, but he knew enough to tell me to do it. Okay. And so I use that and I say, my dad didn't want to do Mary Kay, but he told me to do it. So they might have a sister, a friend, or coworker who needs this opportunity. And you can say that at the beginning. Like if you feel like you'd rather go outside and get hit by a car, it's okay. Just listen because I get credit. And I want you to think about who you do know that when you hear me talking about this might benefit, my XYZ. You know what I mean? Like, and some people do it at the beginning of um the class, if it's a class. While I'm chatting today, if see what I'm doing and you think you'd like to do this to get some extra money, cool. I'll tell you about that at the end. And if not, think about who you might know that, could benefit from this. So on my form, A is absolutely sign me up. That would also be number 5. B is buy me a coffee. That's probably like number 3, 2, 3, and 4. And then C is like, nope, I'd like to be a great customer. So A is absolutely, B stands for buy me a coffee, C is customer. Basically, no. Okay, so whether you do it a number or not. There have been days when I don't have opinion forms, so I'll just say flip over your profile card and then okay. Flip over your profile card and just write A, B, or C, or write a number at the bottom. And then, oh, if you pick 3, you have to pick 2 or 4. And just have them write the number on the back. And then I have always asked every single person to join a call, talk to my director, whatever that looks like. And I've had a lot of people join because I don't always know the perfect thing to say, but like your director is trained on like the objections. So yeah, I'm kind of interested, but what I'm worried about is, and that's typically when they say the thing that they're concerned about. And it's either timing, I don't have the money, I don't know where to fit this, I don't know how to wear makeup. And then our job is to kind of help them. One thing that we want you to be cautious of is giving out too much information. Because if you're just giving out too much information, it can be very overwhelming, especially if there's someone who doesn't need all the details. So that's what I was saying at my event this past weekend. All these college girls, I'm talking about flexibility, how you don't have to work on exam week if you don't want. You're working around your schedule. It's a consumable product, it goes down the drain, but I'm not talking about kids. And I'm just saying it works around your exams and your current life. But then if I'm in front of a bunch of moms, how you can work it into what you're already doing. Okay. So like, oh, if you're going to baseball, so actually I have a consultant now. She's usually here for my meeting and she didn't come, or she might be online by now, but she was bringing her stuff to dance class. So while the kids are in dancing, she's talking Mary Kay outside of dancing. You know what I mean? So like that's what I'm gonna talk to moms about. Bringing it wherever your kids are, whatever your kids are doing, and you're bringing it into that. Okay. The biggest thing is you have to just make it very easy breezy. You don't want it to be you don't want to seem nervous. You're just giving them the facts, y'all. Very short, very easy facts. So like one thing is like you can say that like there's no glass ceilings. You can, move up as high or as low as you're interested in. Now, how detailed being on the Mary Kay side, we could talk about that. all the way up to national and percents that they make and all the different ways you get paid. But those people don't know that information. They don't need that. You know what I mean? Also, like a lot of them ask, like, what's the least thing that you have to do? The only thing and this is what I tell them, the only thing you have to do is make one $225 order a year. Now, I'm not going to go over active and inactive statuses right there because that's confusing to consultants who've been here for months. Okay. So somebody who is uneducated in Mary Kay is going to be like, wait, what? Huh? I have 3 months? Who, what? Wait, what? So all I say is that's all you have to do. And if they ask a question, I'll tell them there are some like details about that. My director, you could say my director goes over that part with you. That's not like what I do with you. Mine is just give you like the very generic part. Okay. But I want you guys to make sure that you have talked to every single person about this business. If there is somebody you feel like you chickened out on, you didn't talk to him, I want you to start working on getting them on the Wednesday night events or on a call with your director. And you guys can always tell them, I'm moving up in Mary Kay and my director's training me. Would you help me by giving me your opinion? Very simple. Okay. And the more simple you are with it, they're like, yeah, sure. What do you need me to do? Well, you can either watch a video and we can follow up with her, or you can jump on our Wednesday night event where they're giving away some cash. And y'all, I don't tell people we're giving away e-starts because they don't know what that is. So I always just like if somebody posted and I copy it, I take out the e-starts and I just put cash and prizes. We're giving away a bunch of cash and prizes. Right? Because they're going to read an e-start and be like, what's an e-start? You know what I mean? And I just want their honest opinion because if I take the pressure off, then they'll listen, So the more that you can get them in front of, the better off you're going to be as far as getting them to start. Now, recently, someone shared with me, I think it was Rebecca was telling me she was on a training, and a few of them were saying that they put a recruiting flyer in every single order that goes out their door. And after years, they've had people come back and sign up after being a customer for a long time. So what I did was I printed, and it's like I don't know if it's 2 no, it's like this. It's like a half sheet of paper. And I just had those printed from Office Depot with like my information on it. So whatever recruiting flyer your director wants you to use, y'all can use that, but just print it. And I did Office Depot. And you can do 2 on a page, and it was maybe $12 for probably 40, 50 of them. So I figured I'd try it for a little while and just throw a few in orders and see how it goes. So that's something new that I'm trying. So even after 14 years of being a Mary Kay, I'm still trying out some new things. Okay. Y'all have any other questions yet that I haven't? Sure, I answered all the chat. Yes, A and C. I think I answered that. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So I think with making it like light, easy breezy, you're helping me. I feel like it opens like a space for people to listen. Okay. Another thing is like especially if you're at a big party where everybody knows each other, I've seen it done where at the end they're like, okay, so now that you guys have listened, who do y'all think is going to be the best at doing what I do that's here at the table tonight? And watch how fast they all like point at the same person. Okay. And then you could be like, okay, well, and even if she's like, no, not me, be like, okay, it's okay. I'll give you $350 in coupons just to chat with me about it. Even if you would rather get hit by a car, I get the same credit. So, and you can get some coupons. Would you be willing to at least listen? And you don't have to ask her in front of everybody. You can obviously ask them when you close out. So that is one of the things when I'm doing my closeout, I typically go look straight for that. And if she circled A, I'm starting with signing her up. I'm not worried about her buying products. I'm not worried about her booking her appointment yet. I'm just like, oh, let's get you signed up. Because if she's booking that second appointment and she signs up, that could be her debut. I'm not going to go sell to all her customers and then try to recruit her. I want to recruit her now. Okay. Now, this same national, and she's a national. Okay. Everybody heard me? She's a national. She was saying that once she was moving, she started telling people, okay, well, before I go like process these orders, you can sign up and this would be like your first order. So if you're really trying to build your team, That's a way to look at it. So, because you just took all that from her customers. These people at this table are going to be her customers. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that. That's off the record. Okay. I've never done that yet. But I just thought, oh, that's it. That's a good, especially if it was somebody sharp. Like, oh, she's super sharp. She knows quality people. Like, I might could get her, to do something. So obviously everything's going to be case by case. I like doing one-on-one facials. I always have because I feel like you can tailor everything to her. So like while like her charcoal mask is drying, we're talking, tell me about your skin, tell me about, your family. Does anybody have any issues that, they need addressing? You're just talking to them. And then the whole time I'm like, oh, this could benefit her because of X, Y, Z, like whatever that looks like. Okay. So last week I lost my grandmother, and while I was going through like the pictures for her slideshow, I noticed like so the way that the funeral home works is you upload all the pictures to this website and then they put together a slideshow. Okay. So 5 months ago, I lost my little cousin and I was put in charge of that slideshow too because Jennifer takes all the pictures. It's what I do, right? Always on my phone. I'm always taking pictures. And so I did his, and then this week I did this one. And so this one we had like a shorter like time from when she passed away to the funeral. And so I went to upload some more pictures and it was already closed. And so I start watching the slideshow and it's like somebody then Jennifer, somebody then Jennifer. And like we were every other picture. But it's because I spent so much time with her. And every time I was with her, like I took her to lunch once a week at least, and I took all these selfies and I had them all relatively easy with Facebook and on my phone, like they were easy to get to. And so I called my cousin. I was like, they might be kind of mad because like this slideshow is like the Jennifer show, the Jennifer and Moore show, because I have so many pictures with her. And she's like, well, it's their fault for not spending that much time with her. And I was like, but it got me thinking while I was going through these pictures, like, look how many days I was able to go eat with her because I have flexibility over my schedule. Like that's what that said to me this week, and they're all like, well, well, we have to work. Well, I do too. But like, there's pictures of us in the hospital. I brought my work with me and worked at the hospital while she now, napped off and on. I talked to the nurse. I gave the nurse, a swag bag and got her number. Like there were just things that I did that I was able to like work around that, so that is something that like I put in the back of my head. Years ago, I had a consultant, and not that these are all meant to be like about death, but her husband had unexpectedly passed away. And she was very all, her kids were a little bit older. They weren't, grown, but they weren't little. So she didn't have a lot to do. And I remember she joined Mary Kay just for that. I have a consultant, Shelly. Shelly joined, and Shelly, when she first joined, she told me, like, I'm never going to talk in front of people. And at the time we had a studio, we did all these big group events. And so I was like, okay, well, like, you don't have to, you just bring them here and we'll do it for you. And then one day she was like, can I just show like satin lips? Yeah, girl. Can I just do microderm today? Yeah, girl. And then she felt more confident after hearing it enough and she would start doing stuff. And so she went from like, I'm never going to talk to anybody to a free car driving sales director, because she had built so many people by the time she was said and done. Okay. So like all these people are going to come in too, and it's going to be for a different reason. Okay. And you want people, it's not like you want one type of person. You want all kinds of different people. And I think that's cool for them to see because you want them to see different personalities. Imagine if we all were exactly the same in Mary Kay. Like, like how boring that would be. So we like think about when you walk around like an event like seminar or retreat and you see all the different personalities and people and types of jobs that they have and all those things, and I think that that's super cool. And actually, one of the things I actually reached out to Summer, she was trying to figure out what she wanted to do with marketing next month. And I was like, I think we need to do a question and answer session, but I think we need to tag team like people from like, so we have like one where Victoria's going to do it and Jane's going to do it. So Victoria's very young. She's single, no kids. Jane's a grandmother. She's much older. She's retired, like, so they can see like the difference there. So like, I already like in my head have like this list of people because I want them to see Victoria, like those college girls. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I can't wait to get them on this call. So my goal is like, I'm going to keep in touch with them a little bit, like all the way till that event in the middle of October. And I mean, obviously I'm gonna try beforehand, but like in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm going to offer them something like really good to get on and listen, because I really think that, I could recruit a couple of them from that. And so like keep a list of those people that have some interest. Okay. So even if they don't sign up right now, they're like, well, thanks for telling me, but I just don't think right now is the best time. And then anytime we have a discounted starter kit or a welcome gift, because they've done that in the past, where like you get like a free product in the starter kit that month or something. They haven't done that in a very long time, but they've done it before. So like you go back and revisit them. So one thing is I've always heard this saying that women's lives change every 90 days. And I want you to think back to 90 days ago, 3 months ago was what? In September, August, July, June. Okay. So like what's changed in your life from June to now? Somebody could lose a job. Somebody could switch jobs. People have babies, people pass away, car accidents, a sickness, like all kinds of things can change, right? So like you can revisit people every 90 days. Okay. And if you build a relationship with these people and make them your customers, it's easier to follow up. Like you don't want to be the person who just checks in every 90 days. Hey, girl, you ready to sign up? Hey, girl, you ready to sign up? Like, that's not what I mean. I just mean like you're building that relationship. And then when something does pop up, you're like, oh my gosh, girl, we just got this, we just found out we're getting XYZ in our starter kit, or it's on sale. Or I personally would also like create my own. Hey, we have a welcome gift these last 3 days of September. Just wondering if you're ready to get signed up. Like, and you give them something. You give them something on their list or just something you have extra of. You could put together a bundle of products that are being discontinued and they would never know. Like give them a lipstick, a lip gloss, like 2 or 3 things, a blush that might be going out of style. They're going out of style, y'all. Going out of the lookbook, and you could bundle that up. Or you could say $50 in free products if you want. I've also seen Summer do it where she just does 35 products, 35 in free products. So essentially you're covering their starter kit with a product to get them to sign up. The thing about it is, as a director, if I'm going to give them something to sign up, I'm going to do it at their debut or when they meet with me for orientation. Okay. Excuse me. So if you guys are offering it, you would say you get it at your orientation with our director, or I can bring it to you at your launch party. That way, like you ensure they're not just signing up for that free gift. Does that make sense? But I wouldn't say that till, oh yeah, grandma, bring it to your launch party. No worries. I got it for you. Smart. You gotta be smart, y'all. Like, yep, I'm giving it to you, but I'm giving it to you when you put me in front of people. Because if you put me in front of people, I'm making money for you, right? And somebody who's making money is gonna like be like, yes, let's do this. Okay. And so like everything has to, I want everything to always feel like I'm not begging you to do anything, but like I called the lady on the phone when I signed up and said, look, I don't have time to like work this business. And I really didn't even know the ins and outs of anything. I just knew it was good products. I needed to get the discount. I was a teacher at home on maternity leave. So I was very busy. I was very overwhelmed in my life. And I told her I just want the products at a discount for my dad, my aunt, and I. And she was like, okay, cool. But then about 2 or 3 days later, she said, can I just come over and show you what's new? And I was like, sure. So I went from saying like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to see this. Like, I just want to order to, yeah, you can come show me a few things. And she was like, well, can you get a couple people there? Like, she didn't say, do you want to have a launch party? Like, she didn't make it sound like a big deal at all. She was just like, I'm going to come show you what's new. And can you grab a couple people to come do that? And I was like, sure. So I had my aunt who wanted me to sign up, my best friend, and my cousin. 3 people come. And she sold $700 while we all held a baby, washed our face. And her little girl ran around like a crazy person because she had a 2-year-old at the time. And I had twins that were in somebody's arms. And so, but in my head, all I remember was $350 in an hour while my kids were here. Like that to me was big, was more than what she could have explained to me. You know what I'm saying? And so she just kind of showed, and I don't even know what she showed that day, y'all. I did not pay any attention. And at the end, she said, okay, well, those 3 people, I guess she did marketing, I don't remember, counted as for my pearls. And so you got, X amount of people, you got pearls, and this many people, you got more. And So the next time she came, she was like, oh, if we follow up with those 3 people who came that day, you'll earn your pearl earrings. Okay, sure. So I got him on the phone and she talked to him on the phone. Like I just remember calling him and handing her the phone, and her doing the follow up. And I was just like, hey, girl, I don't know. I'm earning some pearl earrings. Can you just follow up with my director you met the other day at my house? Yeah, sure. And then my friend Val signed up. So like, I don't even know what she was doing. She just said, you're earning some pearls. And I was like, sure, here, talk to him. I just called him. Here you go. Like, but it doesn't have to be so formal. And I just want you to always consider like, would you hire you? So like, what are you saying to them to make them want to come, work with you? And so if you come in all bag, full of bags, you make it look stressful, that's how they're going to be like, well, that lady looks stressed out. I don't want to do that. But if you're just having fun and you're light, like, so I pulled out of the 62 forms. Like I said, I did marketing a very brief, but I had at least 10 people who put B or A that they were interested and they wanted to sign up. And so I try to make things funny just because I think that connects people. Um, excuse me. I know the other thing is when you are going over like talking points about Mary Kay, if you are not that person, you have somebody you can talk about. There are free cars in Mary Kay that you can earn. And then if you don't drive a free car, you just say something like, I'm part of a free car driving unit. My director drives a Chevy Equinox. My director drives a pink Cadillac. My director drives a whatever that other car is. Is it a Malibu? I don't even know. Nope. Trax. It's a Trax. I've been here a while, y'all. Sorry. It was a Malibu when I earned my first one. I earned it as a consultant too. And they used to let us do that. But and you can say, my director's been driving a free car for, she's on her 9th car and it's been, 12 years, 13 years. And if they say, well, where's your free car? You say they're making it. And then I always like to talk about the prizes that we earn. So always have a couple of your favorite like star prizes that you've earned, or something that would connect with them. Okay. So like one thing I know is my friend Chastity ordered her daughter UGG boots last year for Christmas from the Star catalog. So I could say, if I'm talking to college girls, they're going to be, I was like, I don't know, they gave away Uggs last year. You can get gift cards to fly on a vacation to Southwest, or you can get a Target gift card. Like you can kind of do it however. And then if I'm talking to like older ladies and I'm going to talk about, they have gift cards for Christmas presents because that is coming up. And that's something, oh, you could use your star bonus points for gift cards and, buy Christmas presents for your family. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you want to be thinking about who you're talking to. Okay. So we're connecting it to people. If it's not you, you're talking about a director or somebody else in your area, unit, friends, whatever. Also think about things that like have changed in your life. Are you more confident? Are your kids more confident? What kind of choices? I was able to work this job as a single mom, like and completely support my kids. They didn't have to change anything about their life. Like they continued the same sports, schools, all the things. Trying to see if I forgot anything. Oh, the products. Oh. One thing that a few of us have noticed, this is like not really related to team building, but lately people have been talking about like, oh my God, that's so inexpensive. Like, oh my God, that's so much less than I thought it should be. Like, which is cool to me. Especially those college girls. I was surprised they were like, oh, that's way less than I thought it would be. And I was like, nice. That means you spent way too much on stuff, sis. But I think like our biggest, well, at least where I live, the biggest competition, it used to be Rodan and Fields and it's not anymore. It's more like Zoe skincare that everybody is like, oh, I use Zoe. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. Like they don't have a charcoal mask, y'all. So that's why I'm like, it's okay. We don't have all the same products. So you can probably find something that we have that they don't. And if not, you can just give me your opinion. And I feel like when they compare it, they're like, oh my gosh, this is so much cheaper than that. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I just needed you to see that. But that's really like, oh, this would be comparable to this in the skincare line. And then I'm like, well, how much does that one cost for you? And I remember she saying, oh, it's a lot more than this, but like she didn't say the amount. So like that are awesome products, you can kind of talk about, and now you could get it half off if you sign up. And then you also have to think about like it like logistically. Because I'm like, if she's like, I'm a mom. At the time I had twins, but they were a month old, so that wouldn't be helpful. But I was also a teacher. And so if you explain to me like how I could sell to all my coworkers, oh, I didn't even think I could sell to anybody. So, now I'm thinking, I have, 85 people who I work with who just became customers, you know. And I always tell people, think about your wedding list. If you were getting married right now, who would you invite? And most people can think of, 50 to 400 people to invite to a wedding. That's your list. That's who you start with. That's who your customers are. We will always have customers because everybody has skin and our products go down the drain every morning and every evening. So like we're never running out of customers. Okay. Like think about Pampered Chef. Okay, I don't cook. So first of all, I'm out, right? Tag, I'm out. But those products last forever. Like, so like you don't need to restock those. If you do a health and wellness company, that's only going to pertain to people who really care about their health. You know what I mean? Everybody should, but do they? No. Skin, everyone should. They probably don't. But it's easier to sell somebody one cleanser to wash their face than supplements if they don't care. You see what I'm saying? Like, not to say ours is better or, but like, they're like, oh, well, I was kind of thinking about joining, XYZ. Okay, Scentsy, love me some Scentsy, but like, I can only have so many smell goods in every room, right? Like, eventually, like, you run out. Whereas ours, and those things too, the wax melts, I find like they last forever. Like, I don't buy those very often. So, or you buy the expensive little pot and the little smell good things. She said, girl, what? You from Louisiana? You don't cook? Yes, I'm married to a black man, so I do not have to cook. He cooks for me and he loves to cook. And he cooks like his grandma. It's so great. And so my best friend cooks like everything. And then her husband like is the barbecue guy. So between the three of them, I never have to cook. I literally went over there by myself last night to eat. And they were like, where's everybody? I was like, they didn't want to come. Y'all just feeding me tonight. Sorry. Like, I want to tell you, like, it's just me tonight. Um, she said, me too, but I cook. We both from New Orleans too. Yay. Everything here is unhealthy too. So, like, I can't eat any of it. But my husband's like, I've never seen someone who, like, eats better than you. I'm like, I know. And I'm still sick all the time. Like, my body just hates food. It's fine. But yeah, so well, and I used to cook when my kids were little, especially. And then I would cook and then no one wanted to eat it. And after enough of that, I was like, I'm done. Like I'm not cooking because you people like do not want to eat it. I just went through all that trouble to cook and y'all don't even care. So if I cook, it's in a crock pot. And there's about 6 recipes that I cook. And so no one is starving. That's all I can say. No one is starving at my house, so it's gonna be okay. But Kristen's laughing at me. But yeah, so anyway, so you always want to just make it like as casual as you can, as catered to them as you can. But I want you to just make it a point that you are making everyone aware. Okay. You want to give them enough information they're making an educated decision. And you can say that to them. Like, I don't care if you'd rather go inside get hit by a car. All you have to do is listen and then you can make an educated decision. Because the word ignorant does not have to be a negative word, y'all. I am ignorant on fishing. Like, I don't know anything about going fishing, except like you need a boat and a pole. But like the kind of fishing and like all the things that could, like, I'm ignorant. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. If I went and researched it, I wouldn't be ignorant anymore. But like most people don't know what they don't know. So they're making a decision based off what they think they know. So our job is literally just to get them the basics so they can take the basics and then they can make their own educated decision versus my mom said she tried it 20 years ago and it didn't work for her. Okay, well, it was 20 years ago. You're not your mom. Like there's many, many reasons we want them to listen. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So the biggest thing is giving them the info and at the end saying, okay, so are you interested? And if they're like, and what? Signing up. Do you want to be on my team? I think you'd be a great asset. Well, and if they have an objection, you go over it. And if they're like, I don't know, say, okay, well, how about this? On a scale of 1 to 5, 1, I'd rather get hit by a car. 5, like, sign me up. Where are you? And so you just ask a question to get the answer out of them. So if they can't give you an answer, then you get that number. Okay. And then, oh, we said 3. Are you closer to 2 or 4? And then you go from there. Does that make sense? And then once you have that number, you can get with your director and say, okay. And so that Candace is really good at this. She's here with me right now. And she'll say, okay, this is, this recruit or this customer, this is her age, she's married, this is what she does, this is why I think this would benefit her. And then we might need to talk to her together. And we do. Oops, sorry, I got right kicked. Does that make sense? And then so you're just going from there. And if they're not interested, you put them in your customer base, you love on them, and then check back in on them. If you ever have those promotions, you mention it. You throw the recruiting flyer in their bag, and just those little bitty layering things. If it's meant to be, then they'll stick with you. I know one of the best stories I've ever heard was like, Pat Fortenberry was not told about the Mary Kay marketing side. She was just sold products. And then finally somebody told her about that, and she was like, oh yeah, I want to do this. And then that person made a lot of money off of her. But the person who didn't mention it didn't ever make that money. So like, you want to be the person who's telling everyone. And so if it's not for them right now, when it is for them, they'll come back to you because you're loving on them. You're treating them like a customer. You're checking in on them. You're mailing them the lookbooks. So you're giving them that customer service. And then what happens is, like, that's Nicole, one of my newest recruits. She's been my customer for probably 7, 8 years. Every summer, her and her kids come. We've done an updated, and then she calls me out of the blue and she's like, my kids do horses. They're very expensive. And I think I could use some extra money and I want to do this with you. But because I, told her about the opportunity every time I was with her, I gave her all those reasons. And then I've touched base with her. Like, so she already knows, how do I get my books to my customers like you send to me? Like, so she doesn't know what it's called, but she knows she gets a book from me. And she knows that comes with a sample. Okay, like I know we did this, and you had 4 people there, and we had that flyer that you put under everything. Where do I get that? Like, so she saw things. Like I said, she doesn't know it's called a rollback flyer, but she knew there was like all these things that came with it. She just had to learn how to do it. So, like, if you love your customers, then they're gonna want to come to you, and then they're gonna know, oh, she's successful because I've seen her do this, so I want to work with her. And they're not going to want to go work with anybody else because they've seen you after all these years and they're going to join. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay. So we're asking everybody. Yes. Anybody we have not asked or gotten on a call, we can get on this Wednesday's call. Yes. Okay. So I want everybody to ask at least 5 people between now and Wednesday to just jump on this new marketing call that we're doing and giving you your opinion, and you're going to give them $350 in coupons. And if you're in Gabby's team and she doesn't use those coupons, I can get those to y'all. It's just a sheet of coupons. The thing about the coupons, y'all, is they have to do the follow-up before you give them to them. They can't just like watch the video and then be like, hey, where's my coupons? They have to follow up with your director to get the coupons. And essentially what the coupons are, y'all, it's 12 months of coupons, and they can use a coupon each month. So 1 month might be like, buy something, get something half off, buy this, get this free, spend $75, you get a free lip liner. I don't know, I'm just making it up. But anyway, somebody remakes the coupons every year. So you give it to them, whatever month that they do it, the coupons start from that month to the other month. Does that make sense? Nicole's on, y'all, and she said, yes. And I definitely never thought I would want to sell it all those years ago before I had expensive kids. That's funny. Yes, I will send it to Gabby. I'll send those coupons to y'all in a little while. I also have a Google form that I send out. Now, I'm going to send it to Gabby's people, but do not fill it out and do not have your people fill it out. I'm sending it to you guys for informational purposes only, because it'll come to me, not Gabby. Okay. But you guys can make a Google form all by yourself if you want one. Yeah, people love coupons. And so a lot of people will be like, well, I don't know if I'm interested, but I'll listen for $350 in coupons. Like, and that's something a lot of top directors do too. Like, it's not like that's just a thing I made up. I don't make those coupons. Somebody else made that. Somebody else gave me that idea. I copy the right cats, y'all. That's Jennifer. Okay. I have people cook for me and I copy the right cats. That's what y'all need to know about me. That's who I am all day, every day. I have a lot of kids. But yeah, so those are my ways. And I tell everybody, and I've been on the Queen's Court of Sharing, I don't know, 8 or 9 times already. Oh, it's 10. No, 9. It's 9 because I have one more year before I get the earrings. Okay, yeah, something like that. So anyway, that's the goal. Got to get this done so I can get them earrings and then I'm done. Then I can be a national because I've earned all the jewelry. Okay. So anyway, all right, friends. Well, thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. Oh, the coupons. Wait, where'd the check go? Oh, there it is. No. Somebody else makes the coupons. Like a group. I don't know. One of those people who make the cute flyers. They make the coupons and they update them every year. So like you guys will get the coupon, but it's to you. Like you would have to honor the coupon, but it's a Mary Kay coupon. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. Got it. Perfect. And y'all message me on Voxer if y'all have any questions. I think my name on Voxer is Krells58, KRELOS 58. And if y'all, I know Gabby's sick tonight, but I'll send them to her as soon as we're done. And then if y'all have any questions, y'all can just message me on Voxer. Cool? Thanks, y'all. Aw, thanks, Kristen. You're so sweet. Yay. All right, girls, y'all have a good night. Bye.